Shalom Israel. Shalom Israel. Shalom. Shalom. Everybody in class. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom to everybody online. Brother Naquan.
Shalom, Brother Amos.
Coming back at you again with another Sabbath service, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushua, double honors to the elect elders in the house of David that's been in this truth before us for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushua. A hearty shalom to you mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High, presenting your body as a living sacrifice and enduring the elements and the affliction. Shalom to all of the aquaps out there, married and unmarried, holding it down in the households, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, reverencing their husbands, and being diligent in the last days.
Shabbat Shalom. Joyous 12th month. Happy new moon to everybody who celebrated it. Pray all is well with your spirit and your household. Like the brother said, this is volume 7, the conclusion of the Sermon on the Mount, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. As we always started off, we're going to start it off with Acts.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 18 and verse 4. All right, Acts chapter 18 and 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
So we do these Sabbath services to persuade Israel who know that they're Israel to stay in these law, statutes, and commandments, keep the faith of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and those just coming in or finding out to go harder to find out who you truly are, right? Do due diligence to find out what it truly means to be an Israelite. Search your forefathers, get more learning while the learning can be gotten. With all that I get understanding. And the way we're able to do that through Philippians.
It's the book of Philippians, chapter 4 and verse 13. I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengtheneth me.
Right. So through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we're able to cast down these false doctrines, stand bold for the word of the Lord, right? And get this knowledge and understanding, right? So I believe we're in Matthew 7 and 15. Right. Right. So this will be the conclusion of it, Lord willing. Right. Those who've been watching it, we've been reading one verse, and then we go through 7 and 15. Matthew 7:15. We read one verse and then we go into a lesson on that. Right. So we got 14 more verses. Right. So we're gonna make sure we wrap this up through the spirit.
So it's been a beautiful Sermon on the Mount series, man. Volume 1. We done covered just about everything, man. Prayer, fasting. Yahushua covered everything here, man. Forgiveness, adultery, law, statutes, commandments, alms, charity, So we're going to pick judging, hypocrisy, possessions, integrity, everything, that part of the ministry was a great bulk of it was covered within the Sermon on the Mount. So brothers should have a Bible, your apocrypha, your pen, and your pad, right? Ready to take notes and learn. And we in Matthew chapter 7 and verse 15.
Right. This is the book of Matthew chapter 7 and verse 15. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves.
Right. So let's go to Acts 20 and 28. Let's get a precept on that. All right. False prophets, they'll come to you in sheep's clothing. They'll pretend that they, know what's going on. They may actually know a few precepts. They may have a nice garment in the beard, right? They may have, an ancient Bible like we brought out before, and they may go through the breakdowns and they may know a few things, but they really want to devour you, right? They may have their own agenda. Rather, they want more followers, like we're about to read about, maybe money. Certain brothers, they prophesy for money, man. You see that even in the truth. All right, so these are different agendas on why and how people are false prophets. It could be money for the lucre's sake. It could be women, whatever idol they have set up in a heart. Salaki.
The book of Acts chapter 20 and verse 28. Take heed therefore unto yourselves to all the flock over that which the Holy Ghost had made you overseers to feed the church of Yahweh, which he had purchased with his own blood.
Right. This is an admonition, right? Feed the church of the Most High. Go on. There's more than that.
For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock.
Right. Paul said, when I leave, people going to creep in, right? It's always that guy that want to be in charge, the HNIC. He got his secret agenda. He's sitting in the back. He plotting or how to scheme and overthrow the congregation, right? He's not sparing the flock. Go on.
Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them.
See that? That's the reason why. People want to draw away disciples after them, right? I'm going to split off from WFI and do my own thing, right? And call it the whatever, man. Right? Brothers do stuff like that, man.
God.
Right? Then I'm going to start a conspiracy, and I'm looking who's simple in here that I can take half the congregation with me. Right? I'm going to come up with a doctrine, and then I'm going to get Micah, Lamad, and I'm going to try to get these guys to follow me because they don't know what's going on. Right? And people do stuff like that, man. That happened back in the ancient world. That's called heresy, apostasy. Right? You'll see those biblical terms, apostasy, heresy, right? Or a heretic and apostate are people that deny the truth. Yes, I know. God.
This is the book of Jude, verse 4. For there are certain men crept in unawares who were before of old ordained to the condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord and our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. Right, so it's men of old who were ordained from old to come in and abuse His grace. Right, teach brothers it's okay to go off. Right, teach brothers to forsake the way and follow their own lust. Right, those are men who were set up from the foundation of old to be a deceiver. Right, the Lord said the deceive and the deceiver are His. Right, so you got to be aware that in these last days that's gonna be happening a lot. Right, you got brothers leaving congregations, starting new camps, teaching Lord knows what to lead the sheep astray.
Yeah. I just want to get that. And Job 12:16, right, what Amos brought out. With him in strength and wisdom, the deceived and the deceiver are His.
Right, so if the Lord set you up to be deceived, it's the Lord's will that you be deceived. That's why you pray, right? You fast, right? You have righteous counsel, so you have good brothers and good sisters around you who will let you know when you're falling short. Let you know when you're going off, right? Yeah, no percent. God. This now we're gonna go to 1 Timothy, the 4th chapter, starting on the 1st verse, right? It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils." Right. So in these last days, you're gonna see a lot of people getting cast away, right? Especially approaching on this Passover season. Right, this Passover is usually the time where people start falling out. We call it sifting season. Right, you see a lot of brothers who are mighty in this truth start to wither away. Right, go back into their sins. Right, fall back into the world. Right, give cares to things that are that have no value. Right, you start to hold on to doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisies, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Right, so now you just blaspheming the word. Right, you lying on the scriptures to get brothers to follow you, right? Bringing brothers down. Right, the Lord is warning you about this. That goes into Matthew 24. He gives you all the clear signs, right, of the times coming in. The false prophets, right? False Christ, false doctrines. But you got to be aware of this in the truth.
That's right. Now I got a precept in Ezekiel 14, right? And the Lord said, having your conscience seared with a hot iron. I mean, there's no return, man. And that's why it's important to pray for discernment too. Yeah, brothers that just come into this truth and follow anything, man. All right? Especially if there's a lot of people. If there's a lot of people and a lot of women, people, they going to follow that thing. You got to have discernment, man. And you got to study to show yourself approved. All right? Because when we breaking down, you got to be able to validate it and confirm it, man, within your spirit. Right? Don't just listen to what we said. You got to actually sit there. You got to question it. You got to go back and look it over and say, okay, yeah, that's true. Right? And if a brother, let me get this verse in Deuteronomy 18. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 18 and 19. If we say Babylon's going to be destroyed in 2 weeks and it don't come to pass, guess what? We're false prophets. There's no excuse. Well, we just thought that. No, it is what it is, man. Right? So if somebody's declaring a prophecy and it does not come to pass, you got to mark that man. You're like, hold on, what's up with this guy, man? Right? He keeps saying stuff going to happen, but it never happened. All right, this Deuteronomy 18 and 19. I'm gonna get straight to the point.
You said I was at 18.
All right, we can start at 18. All right, this Deuteronomy 18 and 18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I command him. This speaking about Yahweh Shah. You'll see people into Islam, they say this is Muhammad. This is not Muhammad, man. This is Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. See that? So if you're speaking of false prophecies, you're going to get put to death. Or if you come in the name of another god, yeah, Zeus said that so-and-so is going to happen. Right? Hey, he's going to get destroyed, man. Right? Read it on. You got so many people that say, well, December 2. I remember that it was one year I was in the truth. It was September 23rd. They kept talking about September. They might have been 2016 or something like that.
Good.
Right? September 23rd is the end of the world. They had it on all of the commercials and everybody was getting ready. I remember December, it was December 21st, 2012, the end of the so-called Mayan calendar. They said it's the end of the world. Everybody keeps putting a date on the end of the world. You can't. The Most High said, "No man knoweth the day or the hour, man." Yeah, Y2K, the year 2000.
So like, it was a Hamite who used to come out to the camp, right?
Yep.
He said, July 20th, Donald Trump will be assassinated.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then he came back.
Yes.
He's like, "No, I didn't say that."
Right.
He's like, "Man, we got you on camera saying that."
Right. And then he watched it. He had his head down. He couldn't say nothing. So this dude, and has seen him since, man. This Deuteronomy 18 probably got cut down. Most I probably cut him down. Right? Deuteronomy 18 and 21. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord hath not spoken? Right? You're gonna say, well, how do we know who's a real prophet, who's not a prophet? When a prophet speaketh in the name of Yahweh, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yahweh hath not spoken. But the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him. You see that? So if a brother come in the name of the Lord and say, look, brother, you're going to fall out the truth tomorrow, right? And then it's going to be a thunderstorm, then it's going to be this, and it never come to pass. Hey, we don't respect that guy. That should means don't be afraid of him. But if we come out and we say, Micah, once you leave here, it's going to be an accident or so-and-so and so-and-so with a red card. It's going to have 3 Edomites in it. Then after that, this dog is going to come out. And then you'll see this chariot is going to flash these green lights on you. And then it's going to ask you what your name is. If we keep saying stuff like that and keep coming to pass, you got to be like, hold on, these guys, man, whatever this guy Amos, he keeps saying stuff and it keep coming to pass. I got to kind of, reverence this guy. Not reverences in the Most High, but like I gotta mark his words, man. So if brothers do stuff like that too. You got brothers in the truth that actually be saying stuff and it be kind of coming to pass, man. And you got to take note of that. A wise man. I got one more real quick, right? But this is Ezekiel 14 and 9, right? So you got to kind of mark these words, man. Right? Ezekiel chapter 14 and 9. And Esau got his false prophets. He got the groundhog on Groundhog's Day. Right, who always declares if it's going to be 6 more months of winter or not, right? You got Al Roker and these weathermen who try to prophesy the works of the Most High, right? These are you said what?
Miss Cleo.
Yeah, Miss Cleo. These are your person with the magic ball, right? And she'll read your palm. These are the false prophets on the left hand side. This is Ezekiel 14 and 9. Right, Ezekiel chapter 14 and 9. And if the prophet be deceived when he hath spoken a thing, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet, and will stretch up my hand upon him, and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel. See that the Lord said, if there's a false prophet, the Lord created him. You think all the prophets are going to be righteous? No, you have to have a just balance, man. You got to balance this thing out. It reads, and they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeketh unto him. I mean, if you follow the false prophet, you're going to get destroyed too. It's not just the false prophet. It's his great congregation of followers, right? You go to Texas, Joel Osteen got a megadome that sits over 100,000 people, man. And they can't wait to go there tomorrow. People buy their tickets just to get a seat in there. Nosebleeds, right? To get a smell of Joel Osteen and T.D. Jakes, man. Right? Everybody in that congregation, they all going to get destroyed by the Lord. Right. Now, they can say, well, I didn't know. Nobody told me. It don't matter, man. Right? Because the truth is out here. Right? You got something?
Yeah, I got a few things. To land me back on what the brother went into in Deuteronomy 18 and 18, how they say that prophet is Muhammad, you would go to Amos 2 and verse 11 to cut that, right? Because we know that Muhammad is not an Israelite, right? So Amos 2 and 11 says, and I raised up your sons for prophets and for your young men Nazareth. Is it not thus, O children of Israel, saith the Lord? Right? So if anybody ever says Muhammad is a prophet, just cut them with Amos 2 and 11. The prophets are the children of Israel, right? And to land me back, what the brother was saying, I got a few points. Exodus 23 and 1, right? Or verse 2, right? Exodus 23 and 2, it's the law not to follow in a multitude to do evil, right? If you following into those mega churches, you following a multitude to do evil because they're not teaching you the law, statutes, and commandments. They're not teaching you, thus saith the Lord. It's nothing but a huge motivational speech that get you ready to commit more sin that following week. Right? So this is Exodus 23 and 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Right? So you can't follow these people going into these mega churches, right? You can't follow these false prophets who tell you to sell all you have and drink the Kool-Aid. Right? You can't do these things, man, because the Most High going to judge you along with the false prophet. Right? So this is Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 9. Right, Jeremiah 23 and 9. It says, mine heart within me is broken because of the prophets. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whose wine has overcome him because of the Lord and because of the words of holiness. Right, the Lord, Jeremiah is saying his heart is broken because of these prophets, man. Right, he's the only righteous prophet right there, and you got all these people set up lying to people. Right, talking about God loves everybody. Got the mega horn, right? Being loud and boisterous, not speaking any scriptures. You see those people. The people with the mega horn never have their Bibles out.
And the picket sign.
And the picket sign saying whatever they want out their mouth with the shirts on. John 3:16. Right? Everybody's seen that. Right? Jeremiah said his bones were shaking. He was shaking. He was so mad. Verse 10. For the land is full of adulterers. For because of swearing the land mourneth. The pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right. For both the prophet and priest are profane. For in my house have I found their wickedness, saith the Lord. And Israel is the house of the Lord, right? We're that pleasant place, right? On the left, on the right hand side, on the left hand side, America is that wicked place that we love to dwell in, right? The prophet and the priest are profane, man. Right, it's only a small remnant of prophets that the Lord has set up to ordain this, man. And those are the men on the highways and byways breaking down scriptures correctly, right? Not winging it when they don't understand it.
That's right. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 18 and verse 18, right? 2 Chronicles chapter 18 and 18. It reads, again he said, therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting upon his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. Right on the right hand side are what? The righteous angels. Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, different spirits of courage and boldness and faith. These are angels on the right hand side. On the left hand side are what? Demons, evil angels. Spirits of adultery. Spirits that make you lust. Spirits that make you steal, right? These angels, they're all up on the left-hand side of the Lord. It reads, and the Lord said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one spake, saying after this manner, and another saying after that manner. So the Most High said, I want this guy to die, right? Who's going to get this guy to die? And the angels, this is the Most High's counsel. So you should have a counsel, right? Not that the Most High needs it, but it's for your learning, right? So the Most High is asking these different angels, do you have ideas on how you want to get this man to die? One angel said, look, why don't we do this? Another angel said, I got this idea, right? Verse 20. Then there came out a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith, meaning how, right? Now the Lord didn't say, what you mean you're going to entice him? You're going off. That's wicked, right? Go to hell, right? How come the Lord didn't send his angel to hell, right? Because this angel worked for the Most High. And the Most High create evil too, right? So when there's false prophecies, it happens up there in the heavens first. Who's going to get this guy to declare a false prophecy and make this guy be destroyed? I want to kill this guy. Well, let me just go be a spirit and stir up his mind and make him say something that's not true. Let me make him break the scriptures down wrong on purpose so I can kill him, right? Everybody don't got to die in a car accident, like in in Dallas, Fort Wayne, or whatever the case may be. Everybody don't got to get hit by a car to die. The Most High can kill you anyway, man. He can send a spirit down in your vessel and make you lie against the scriptures just to destroy you in the last day, right? And that's what we're reading about, right? Verse let me read 20 again. Then there came out a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Lord said, thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do even so. So whenever you're getting enticed and you falling into lust, the Lord sends spirits down on you, man. I want this man to go off and commit adultery, right? And so we can cut him down. He can learn the lesson. What you got for him? I'm going to go down and put the spirit inside this woman to walk past him at this certain time. Good. That's a good idea. Next thing you know, you over that woman's house, you commit adultery. So man doesn't know what's going on in the spirit world, but these conversations, they happening right now. As we speak, there are conversations in the heavens on how to get man to fall, right? And how to declare false prophecies and speak the truth. It's all from the spirit world. Add one more real quick. Romans. Let's go to Romans 16 and 17. Right? So this thing is on a spiritual level, man. It's not because the brother don't know what's going on. It's because there are spirits working on his mind that he can't see. You can't see the spirits working in your mind and the demons whispering in your ear. Brother, we have an entire demons latched on their back. Say this. You see that? Right? Now you're looking in the scripture like, yeah, I do. That do make sense. And it don't even make sense because that demon all in your ear. Right? Talking about, I got the next big breakdown. This Romans 16 and 17. All right, let's read that. Romans chapter 16 and verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. Meaning, you got to mark certain men that's always coming up with a heresy, right? If I see the brother always talking about Edomites can make it, I may not say nothing immediately, but I'm taking the mental note of the brother. That's what it means to mark them, which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine. Verse 18. For they that are such serve not our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, but their own belly. Certain prophets, they serve their own belly, meaning whatever idea or agenda they have in their own mind. And by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. See that? Brothers they use big words, right? They are walking thesaurus and dictionary. And a simple-minded man, this guy must be a prophet. Look at these big words. Never heard that. Never heard Amos use those big words. This guy must be a man of God, right? He's very charismatic, right? Theatrical, right? If that's a word. And then he'll use that to entice the people, man. So you gotta pay attention to these signs, man.
So like I was just going to say what you was talking about, the counsel of the Lord, that's a cut to the fallen angels. Right? Because all angels, that's the father of spirits. All angels are subject to the Lord, right? So there's no fallen angels, right? Ain't no Lucifer got cast down and brought a third of the angels with him. Right? That's mythology.
Right. That's enough. That's something else.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to 2 Peter 2 and 1. All right, let's go to 2 Peter 2 and 1. This is one of my favorite false prophet precepts, man. Right? 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. So you got no excuse, man. You can't say, well, I didn't know, Lord. But the Lord gave you the truth right in front of you, man.
Right.
You got the precepts. You got to go and look into it yourself, man. You got to pray for discernment and faith, or you're going to be caught out there. You have to deal with it, right? This 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. So that's a prophecy from Peter. He said there's going to be men that come in privately. They're not going to be open. They're not going to kick the door down and say, I have a prophecy. They're going to come in sneaky. They're going to have these fringes on, they beard. They're going to know the name of the Lord. They're going to say Shalom, right? Then at a feast day, he in the corner with two other men, right? And then you walk over there, then he kind of put that book back in his book bag and say, Shalom, right? What's going on? And then you don't know what's going on. You thought he put the Bible back in his book bag. No, brother. That was the book of Enoch, right? He put it pocket size, put it back in the bag. Every feast day you come around, he got a huddle. First it was 3 brothers, now it's 7, right? Now when you come around, you on the outside looking in, right? Now it's 9 brothers on Passover, right? Now they overthrow the congregation. And I got this new doctrine. Me and my men. He said, me and my men want to talk to you. And he got 10 men behind him, man. Absalom did that. Read 2 Samuel. Right? So you got men that'll bring in damnable heresies and they'll deny the Lord that brought them. Right? You got Old Testament Israelites now. They first came in the truth. Now they Old Testament Israelites. Now they denying the Lord that brought them. What they going to get? A swift destruction. Right? Verse 2. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of, and through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you. What does that mean? They make merchandise of you? They playing you, man. Right. You they plaything. They using you for what they need you for, man. Right? You said what?
I said to deceive.
Yeah, to deceive you, man. Right? They shall make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. See that? So you got false prophets. The Most High said their judgment is coming, right? And many follow their ways, man. Look at Christianity. Look at Islam. Look at these world religions. And many people are following their ways, making merchandise out of you. You got to know where the ATM is. A lot of people, in these Christian churches, these pastors are telling you, they're giving you that look, if you're going to get a job, right? And you're going to get a car. But they only telling those people who providing money to them. Only the people that's getting money, they the ones who the pastors declaring that you're going to get a job and you're going to get a car. So that's what it means. They make merchandise out of you, man.
We're going to jump up one chapter and go to verse 19. 2 Peter 1 and 19. It says, we also have a more sure word of prophecy, right? So whenever somebody's coming at you, bringing out new doctrines or something that you never heard, right? Something was broken down in a way that you're not familiar with. You got the prophecies right here in your hand. You should always have your sword with you, right? You should always have your sword with you. Where until you do well that you take heed, as unto light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star rise in your hearts, right? So you should be able to look. Well, brother, you said that there's a hell where we're going to be burning forever, right? Show me that in the scriptures. Show me where it says that our spirit is going to be burning forever, right? So you should put people on trial. And if they get tongue-tied or they don't go into the scriptures, mark that man.
Right.
Mark that man. Make a mental note. Look, this brother, he just talking out of his belly. Right? This brother don't know what's going on. Right? And there's a lot of brothers like that. We had one camp where brothers was pulling brothers to the side, talking about, what was the doctrine?
There's an actual place called hell, and you got to go into these other books. I mean, at camp, we literally at camp teaching. Then you got brothers on the side pulling brothers that just came in to the side, trying to seduce them with different words of folly.
Right, and that there's no such thing as regeneration at camp. Mind you, when you're at camp, you're at war, man. You're at war. Anything can happen at camp, man. right? Y'all brothers who just came out, y'all haven't really witnessed anything too crazy happening at camp. But
Right.
all hell can break loose at a second, right? So you gotta be on your P's and Q's at camp, always mindful and watchful. Ain't no time for no crafty counsel, right? And if you have a doctrine that you don't understand or something that's pondering, you bring it to the body, right? Verse 20, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is a private interpretation. Any private interpretation, the water, right? There's no private interpretation of these scriptures, man. It's thus save the Lord. Here go the precepts to validate what I'm saying, right? Through the Spirit, because I got it through the Spirit, right? The Spirit is going to teach you all things, right? But remember that the left-hand side is going to teach people things on the left-hand side, right? For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of Yahweh spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit, right? So if you're a holy man, you're going to speak as the Spirit moved you to get these precepts out of the Bible, not the book of Epic of Gilgamesh and all those weird books, man. Who want to read an Epic of Gilgamesh? Oh, sound like something from fifth grade, or Lord of the Rings, man. Right. Go into 1 Peter, right? Go into John, go into Matthew, right? Go to the Old Testament, the New Testament to validate what you're saying, right? It shouldn't just be you see that one precept, confounded. It should be it should be thus saith the Lord in this book, that book, this book, that book. Yeah, because it's the Bible's a big puzzle piece, right? And it's going to paint a beautiful picture once you bring it all together,
right? That's right. Let's go to 2 Timothy 2:17, right? 2 Timothy chapter. That's a beautiful point. If a brother got one precept and that's it, you got to look at that brother, man. I don't need no other precepts. This too deep for you. But brother, if you challenge your brother doctrine says too deep for you, not going to get it. Hey, mark that brother, man. You know, or I'll get up with you next week. Every time he getting up with you next week, right? You got to mark these men, man. Second,
so lucky, I'm with me. It was a camp in Chicago called Israelite Tried and Refined, man. Right? You know about them? I've heard about it. Yeah, right. So they used to open up their calls on Saturdays after camp. I will always call because they always had some bugged out doctrine, man. Right? And it was never thus said the Lord. It was just a big argument, right? And slowly and surely, the Lord started casting them down and cutting them down. Now they smoking weed, making music videos. They don't even go out and teach. Right? Might be one brother left in there who still is in the truth. Right? So you gotta beware of these false prophets, man. The Lord will make an example of you if you're not mindful.
Right? Yeah, brothers start waxing worse and worse. Right? But this 2 Timothy 2:17. I'm gonna start at 15. 2 Timothy, I'm going to start at 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly divide the word of truth. If you're not studying, you're going to be ashamed. I guess that's true. That sounds right. Brother breaking false doctrine, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Because you're not studying, brother. Right? Not everything makes sense to you. Everything sounds good. But if you study and you're like, nah, I remember looking over that. No, that don't add up. You kind of confident and build up your faith, right? It reads, but shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness, like false doctrine, right? False prophecies. And their word will eat as doth a canker, of whom is Hymenaeus and Philetus, who concerning the truth have erred, saying that the resurrection is past already, and overthrow the faith of some. So you had these two men out there in the ancient world, Hymenaeus and Philetus. And guess what? They back on the earth. What was they teaching back then? That the resurrection happened already. And a lot of people got caught up in that thing. They was pulling brothers to the side. Yeah, you know the Lord already returned, right? Everything happened. Remember the crucifixion, the bodies of the saints came out. That's not happening again, right? And a lot of people believe that. Now, the point I wanted, the Lord said the word will eat as doth a canker. Now, you look that word canker up in the Greek. I'm going to play it.
Strong's G, 1044, gangrena. Gangrena.
Now, that's where you get the word, the disease gangrene. Have brothers heard of the gangrene? Right? You heard that disease? All right, gangrene. That's where you get the word canker from in the Greek. Now, this word canker, it means a gangrene, a disease. This is how doctrine is to a body of men. A disease by which any part of the body suffering from inflammation, becomes so corrupted that unless a remedy be seasonably applied, the evil continually spreads, attacks other parts, and at the last eats away the bones. That's how a doctrine could destroy a whole congregation, man. Right? If this brother starts believing that the book of Enoch is a real book, and we don't cut that, it's going to spread to Micah. This is going to spread to you. This is going to spread to Amos. This is going to spread to me. Now we're all infected. That's how false prophecies and false doctrines work, man. So you got to cut that cancer before it spread.
The book of James, chapter 3 and verse 5, right? It says, even so the tongue is a little member and boasteth great things. Behold, how great is a matter, a little fire kindled, right? A small match can burn down a mansion, right? That's the same thing with a tongue, right? Verse 6, and the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue amongst our members, that it defileth the whole body and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell, right? So a small tongue can bring down a huge congregation, right? False doctrine can bring down a strong man who stood fast. He couldn't contend with it, right? That's why it's always important to have counselors. Have that brother you can reach out to who can help you, right? If I'm going through something and I can't understand this scripture, I'm gonna reach out to a brother. I'm not gonna lean on my own understanding, but you gotta have wise counselors, men who you know who hearken to the scriptures, who know the scriptures, right? Don't just ask a old crackhead outside what does this mean? Right. He gonna tell you anything, man. Right? Hearken to men of understanding, right? Know who to ask questions to. Don't ask questions to just anybody, and be careful with your words. More or less, be careful with your words, because the simple believe of every word.
That's right. That's right. Let's go to the book of 1 Timothy chapter 1 and 18. 1 Timothy 1 and 18. That's right, man. And if you like the brother said, if you got questions concerning the scriptures, ask somebody. Right? If you're in a certain congregation, ask your elders, your leadership, or don't ask the brother who just came in yesterday. Right? Guess what? Both of y'all are gonna be confounded. Right? This 1 Timothy 1 and 18. This charge I commit unto thee, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before on thee, that thou by them mightest war a good warfare. So you use these prophecies and breakdowns to war a good warfare against doctrine, to combat demons, evil spirits, seducing spirits. Use these prophecies. Right? Verse 19. Holding faith and a good conscience, which some, having put away concerning faith, have made shipwreck. See that? They were sailing on the living waters. Now they crashed into the iceberg of Islam. They were sailing in the living waters. It became the Titanic, and they crashed upon what? All types of heresy and doctrine, man. Right? And then when you crash that iceberg, you know that Titanic, it was a slow death, man. The ship slow. It took hours for that thing to go down. So when you crash, you slowly going to fade away, right? And it's going to give you the men that did that. Verse 20, of whom is Hymenaeus. This guy Hymenaeus, I wonder who he is back on the earth, man. Right? This guy's off, man. Of whom is Hymenaeus and Alexander, whom I have delivered unto Satan, that they may learn not to blaspheme. And he got kicked out the congregation, man. Let Satan and the God of this world rule over them, man. Right? So the apostles was delivering men to Satan, man, for blaspheming the scriptures. So, all right? So, you know, they handled their business, man. You got something else?
Yeah, you got one left with it, but it's cool.
Okay, Con, let's go to you want to go back? Let's go back to Matthew. Yeah. All right, so these are the false prophets, man. You got to they could falsely prophesy for vanity, filthy lucre's sake. It could be women. It could be their own belly. It could be to seduce you. It could be for preeminence. There could be many different ways, man. All right, so Matthew chapter 7.
16. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 16. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs or thistles?
Right, because we want to eat from these different men that are referred to as trees. Right, and the grapes that we want to eat is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right, so what would the thorns and the thistles be from an evil tree? false doctrine, lies, philosophies, right? So you don't want to go to a tree, oh, I want to eat these thorns. I want to eat these thistles. That's what you do when you go to false prophets, man. And you eat the words that they're telling you. Like Yahushua told you in the book of Mark, be aware of the leaven of Herod, man, and of the Sadducees and Pharisees, meaning their doctrines and their understanding. Do not ingest those things into your belly, or it will destroy you.
Verse 17, even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
Right. And our fruit is our works. All right. Let's go to Psalms chapter 1 and 3 real quick. All right. Our fruit are our works. And you have to be rooted and grounded within these living waters to bring forth profitable fruit. All right. Let's go to Psalms chapter 1 and let's start at 1. We're going to read 1 through 3.
Psalm 1.
Yeah, I got it. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 1 and 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. So if you depart from the ungodly and meditate in the law, statutes, and commandments, you'll be like a tree planted by rivers of living water, right? If you don't do that, you're going to be a tree planted in the desert, right? Where your roots can't attach to the ground and bear a root, and neither can you bring in nutrients. Because where are you going to draw them from? From the sand, from the dirt? So what do you think your fruit is going to do? It's going to wither away. And your leaves, they're not going to be able to last because you're not receiving the nutrients and that hydration. If you're rooted by these living waters as a man, you're going to produce profitable fruit, right? You see men that produce fruit. You see men wax strong in the truth. You see men begin to gain understanding, right? You'll see the Most High begin to work on men's spirits and elevate them on a level because they are following the instructions that the Most High gave them, right? So when you're bearing fruit, we want to eat of your fruit, man, right? And Yahushua want to eat of your fruit. That's why we're planted within his vineyard.
Sirach chapter 21 and start at verse 10. Or start at verse 9. The congregation of the wicked is like a tow wrapped together, and the end of them is a flame of fire to destroy them. The way of sinners is made plain with stones, but at the end thereof is the pit of hell. Right? So like the brother said, you're going to know the man who the Lord is dealing with. And you're going to know who the man that the Lord is not dealing with. Right? The way of a sinner is plain upon stones.
Right.
Right? You can look at a stone and see if it's smooth, if it's jagged. Right? You can see a mountain and know, yeah, I can't climb that. Or you can see a hill when it's not, yeah, I can go straight down and I can have a good time on that sled. Right? That's the ways of man is like that. It's the same way the ways of a sinner is like that. Right? Verse 11. He that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof, and the perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom. Right? Those keeping the commandment, keeping their hands clean, right? That understanding is going to abound and grow more and more and more and more on those brothers. Right? You know who has clean hands because they're getting smarter and stronger, more knowledgeable of the scriptures. And those who don't have clean hands, man, they a high level Christian at times.
Right.
Right? Verse 12. He that is not wise will not be taught, but there is a wisdom which multiplieth bitterness. Right? So a wise man is always learning. Right? You never reach the pinnacle in this truth, man.
Right.
This book is it's a living thing.
Right.
Right? It's a living spirit, man. You can never find out everything there is about the scriptures. Theology school is a joke, right? You're a master of theology. There's no such thing as a master of theology, right? Verse 13. The knowledge of a wise man, to let me back what the brother said, the knowledge of a wise man shall abound like a flood. His counsel is like a pure fountain of life, right? So the knowledge of a wise man is like a flood, man. Try to stay dry in a flood. It's not going to happen, right? It's not going to be planting something in the desert, right? All the trees around you going to grow fruit, man, because you're going to drop knowledge here, you're going to drop knowledge there. You're dropping off knowledge everywhere. Right? Speaking parables, right? Dark sayings, right? And that's why we do those gauntlet games, Right, brothers getting the gauntlet games, man. Right, sharpen your sword. Be amongst wise men. Get the understanding while you can. Because who knows what tomorrow may hold. We may never see each other again after today. Right? And you're going to be like, damn, I wish I did this more with the brothers. I had more understanding. Right? Don't live in regret, man. Take advantage of the opportunity that you can.
That's right. Let's go to Song of Solomon, chapter 2 and 1. Right? So we have to ask ourselves, am I producing righteous fruit or wicked fruit? Right? Is the Lord pleased at my works or is he displeased at my works? Right? And then if you deal with gardening and you understand that your plants and crops, what they call it horticulture, is not producing the righteous fruit, you kind of examine it. Right? Maybe it's getting too much sunlight. Am I overwatering it? Am I doing so and so? So you got to do that with your body and your vessel, man. Right? Am I getting enough living water? Right? Am I hanging around the wicked? You know? So you got to kind of check yourself. Song of Solomon 2 and 1. I am the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valleys. Right? And that represents Israel. We're the lily of the valleys. Right? And that's the Most High's favorite flower. As the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters. Right? The thorns are what? The other nations. Right? Verse 3. As the apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my beloved among the sons. I sat down under his shadow with great delight, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. What is the fruit that's sweet to our taste? The knowledge, the understanding, right? So the apple tree is symbolic for Yahweh Shai, right? And we sit under his shadow and it protects us from the wild heat, right? As sheep, if you out there as a sheep and you out in the heat, you want to burn up, man. You come sit under the shade of Yahweh Shai, right? You come eat of that fruit and you'll fare well, man. Right? So the fruit that's sweet to your taste is the wisdom, knowledge, and the understanding. And that's what we have to be able to produce, because that's what Yahweh Shai gives us, man. So we have to give fruit to our brothers that they may eat too.
God, this is Psalms chapter 92 and verse 12. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing to show that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Right? So if you planted in the house of the Lord, you're not going to have anything to worry about. You're going to keep growing. You're going to keep bringing forth more fruit. Your children are going to grow and bring forth more fruit. Right? The brethren around you, your wife, you're going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. You're going to be like that tree planted by the river, who's always getting nourishment, who's always getting fed. The roots are never dry, right? So you want to be planted in the house of the Lord, right? You want to find your way back into the gates, man. Find your way back into these scriptures so you can get more understanding, right? So you can start being that tree that bear that perfect lemon, that make the best lemonade, right? The most ripe apple, right? That you bite into, that you want to savor and chew real slow, right? You want to be that tree. Don't be that tree that always has worms in it.
Right.
Right. That tree that always the fruit is always falling because it's bad. Right. Be planted in the house of the Lord by that river. Right. By these living waters right here. Get all the knowledge you can while you can, because the famine of the word is coming. Right. It's going to be a crime soon. Right. To read the Bible. That's coming soon. So get it while you can, because once it's gone, it's gone.
That's right. It's Psalm chapter 128 and 1. Right? Psalm chapter 128 and 1. Make sure you produce some fruit, or you will be cut down, man. Right? That's all. We bring those out too. This Psalms 128 and 1. Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord, that walketh in his ways. For thou shalt eat the labor of thine hands. Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house. Thy children like olive plants round about thy table. So your wife, if you're righteous, your wife is going to be a fruitful vine, man. Right? And you're that house, right? Your house is your body made of clay. And your wife is your rib. Y'all are one flesh. Just like you look at a house, you see that vine is damn near attached to the house, man. Brothers know what I'm talking about. It's like the rib, man. So your wife is a fruitful vine in terms of producing children, sons, daughters, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. Right? And it also says your children are like olive plants. What do olives produce? Oil, which is what? Understanding. And your children will come up righteous. Your children will come up in the knowledge of the Lord. if you fear the Lord always. Right? Verse 4. Behold, thus shall that man, so like, behold, that thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord. Now this Psalms chapter 144 and verse 11. Right? Psalms chapter 144 and verse 11. Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood, that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as a cornerstone polished after the similitude of a palace. So we want our sons to be as plants grown up in their youth, strong, green, healthy, right? Not withered away like Amos was going into, not with a fruit got worms all in it. You want to be these righteous trees in the earth, man.
God, that goes into Proverbs 22:6, right? Raising your children up right, being that example of how to be a man that keep the commandments, right? This is Sirach chapter 30 and verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him, right? So if you teaching your son the right way, when you bring him around, you'll be like, yeah, you see how he just broke that down? You see how he reading, right? The father always want to brag about his sons, right? That's what a father wants to do. Father loves to brag about their children, right? So if you raise them up right, you're gonna be bragging, not bragging, but being like, you see how the Lord has blessed my family, right? You don't even have to say it. Brothers is gonna see it, right? Verse 4: though his father died, yet he as though he were not dead, for he had left one behind him like as himself, right? So when you're dead and gone, your son gonna be an extension of you, right? How King David was, Solomon was, right? That's what goes into having a good name, right? That's passing down a good inheritance. You're the son of Naquan? Oh, what's going on, man? What you need anything? Right? Having a good name, it passes down to your children. That's part of your inheritance as well, right? You don't want to be that Israelite who's just a shame when he come around. Like, did you invite this nigga around here? Man, I told you stop inviting him, right? Leaving a good name is part of that inheritance, right? While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. When he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemy, one that should require kindness to his friends, right? So raising up your children is good, but raising them up in righteousness is 1,000 times better, man. And that's what you should be working. You should be trying to find another way to continue to raise your children up more righteous than we were raised up, right? Finding your errors and teaching your child not to follow in the same areas that you fell in, right? That's a bigger inheritance than money can leave.
That's right. Let's go to St. Luke 13:6. All right. The book of St. Luke, the 13th chapter and the 6th verse. He spake also this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came and sought fruit thereon and found none. Where the man? I mean, it's like the Most High is the man, and where that fig tree planted in the vineyard, right? The vineyard is the nation of Israel, pursuant to Isaiah 5 and 7 on down. Now, the Lord comes down and sees if you're producing fruit. And you never know, man. Do trees know when the gardener is going to check on them? They don't know what's going on. They just out there. So you never know when your house is going to come down in the garden and check on your fruit, man. Have you been studying? Have you been reading? Right? You've been in this truth for what? 5 years? You don't have no fringes yet? You don't know what the Passover is about? Been in this thing for 3 months? You haven't kept the new moon? That's the Lord's Spirit coming down via the angels and checking on the fruit. Right? It reads, verse 7. Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard, behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this fig tree and find none. Cut it down. Why cumbereth it the ground? So the Lord gonna cut you down. Right? You've been in the truth for a certain period of time. If you're not up to the Most High standards, so like you're gonna be cut down. Right? It says, why cumbereth it the ground? What does that mean? You're taking up space. You're useless. Right? I can have another seed and another tree right there, profitable. Why are you just here with dead leaves? I'm gonna cut you down, man. And the Lord does that every day to different men in the truth. These things happen every day. People get cut down because they're not producing fruit. And the Lord don't gotta warn you before he come and check on you. He can do this any minute, right? Verse 8, and he answering said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also, till I shall dig about it and dunk it. Meaning, we're going to give him some time. Let's give him more grace, right? He's a humble brother. Give him more grace. The Lord give more grace to the humble. That's written. And he resists the proud. James 4:6. So the Lord to do that, man, right? The Lord to give you more time because you may not be on a certain level, right? And then Most High may warn you through a brother. He may warn you through a dream or through a vision and give you more time. It may not be a year. This brother got a year. You might have tonight, and that's it. It might be tonight. Tonight is your night, brother. Right? Are you going to watch TV and be slothful and get cut down in the morning? Or what, brother? Are you going to be on fire? You might not have a year, man. You might have this week. You might have till next Sabbath to get it together, or you will be cut down. This is not just men. This is women too. This is children. This is old folks. This is everybody. Right? Verse 8 again, and he answering said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also, till I shall dig about it and dunk it. And we don't hear that conversation between the Most High and the angels. Get this brother more time, right? The tree don't know what's going on, right? And if it bear fruit, well, and if not, then after that, thou shalt cut it down. So give him time. If he bear fruit, that's good, very good. If not, then we're going to cut it down. So that's heavy.
This second Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 77, right? It reads, woe be unto them that are bound with their sins, right? So death and destruction to those men and women who can't overcome the sins that are holding them down, right? Death and destruction to them that are bound in their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns that no man travel through, right? That no man may travel through. Right, that's going back into the vineyard precept that the brother read, right? Luke 13, right? You got a whole vineyard of beautiful grapes on one side. You got the olive trees, right? You got the cherry trees, right? You got the grapes over here, right? But then you try to walk through to get to the one side, it's covered in thorns and bushes, right? There's no fruit that's profitable to eat there, right? It says, it is left undressed and cast into the fire to be consumed therewith. Right? So if you that tree or that vineyard that's covered in bushes and thistles, right? Because you can't put down that weed, right? You can't stop dealing with the other nations. You got a drug demon on you, an adulterous demon, right? You just going to be cast down to the fire to make space for the next man or woman who want to be on fire for the Lord. Right? It's just that simple. It's either you're going to get down or lay down, man. Right? These sons, man, fasting and prayer get rid of these demons, man. Reaching out to brothers, asking them to pray with you, asking them to fast with you. Right? You should ask brothers to fast with you, man. Right? Confess your faults. Right? That's James 5:16. Right? Confess your faults to one another. Right? Because the same thing you might be dealing with, the next man might be dealing with. Now y'all fighting that demon together. Now y'all about to jump this demon. He ain't about to mess with y'all no more. Lord willing.
That's right. So we can go back to Matthew. All right? We're back in the book of Matthew. Right? Matthew chapter 7 and 18 again. Right, yeah, 18.
Matthew chapter 7 and 18. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth forth not good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
See that? The Lord cut people down, man, to destroy them. Give them over to reprobate minds, strange philosophies, doctrines, right? Yes, sir. Yeah, every tree that bringeth not good fruit, man. Meaning what? You've been in this thing, you still don't have your fringes on, right? We had a brother who was on the so-called clubhouse. He was asking about some in-depth breakdown, but he didn't even know about the bitter herbs, man. Been this thing for a minute, right? The Lord cut men like that down, man. You know, if babies don't have milk, what's gonna happen? It's over for them. It's over, man.
This is Romans chapter 11 and verse 16. For if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. Right? That's going into our forefathers, right? And it's talking about the Gentiles as well. Right? We come from a holy seed. Right? And though we may slip, ultimately we holy, we set apart. So we got to work our way back into following the footsteps of our righteous forefathers. Right? So that we're not that branch that's cast away and hewn into the fire. right? Nobody wants to be burnt when the Lord come back. That's the last thing brothers is thinking about. Man, I can't wait to be burnt when the Lord come back. That's wicked, man. Right? We all want salvation, right? So we got to do these things. These scriptures are laid down for an example of righteousness for us, man. You should be following acts of all the righteous forefathers that you have in the scriptures and foremothers that you have in the scriptures for sisters.
Right. This is Jeremiah 2:21. Right? Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? We a bunch of degenerates, man. Lord called us a bunch of degenerates, man. All right, meaning like them people that's born with one arm, that's a degenerate. You have genetic defects. You plant your seed to grow up a noble vine. Now I got like thorns coming out the side and half Venus flytrap, half sunflower. Like, oh, what is that? What did I plant? You planted it to get an apple tree. Now you got half sunflower, half Venus flytrap. What you want? You want to burn that thing down, man, and start all over again. And the Lord is doing that, man. Right? He done sent the armies and burnt down the city, if you can understand. And then now he got the brothers coming into this thing now, man. You know?
Matthew chapter 7 and verse 20. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them.
And that's like you can. That's how you know a prophet, a righteous prophet or a wicked prophet, based off of their works. All right.
Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven.
Right. Let's go to Luke 6 and 46. Yeah, just because you say Lord, Lord, you may even know the name of the Most High. All right. You got it. You got it. You got brothers that got the name of the Most High tatted on their neck. In the ancient, you seen that, brother? You didn't see that one? Yeah, in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, they got the name of the Most High. You think he gonna make it? He know the name of the Lord, but it's tatted on his neck. Right? You got brothers that actually know the name of the Most High. It may not be tatted on your neck. You may say, call Lord, you say the name of the Most High. Does that mean you're gonna make it? You got your Hawashai, you got it written on your Bible, you got it in the ancient Hebrew, you got the Lord's prayers all around you, right? Does that mean you're gonna make it? Well, let's see what the Lord said.
Luke chapter 6 and verse 46. And why call me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say?
What did he say? Let's go to John 14 and 15. This is what it means, not everyone that said to me, Lord, Lord. You have to do the things that he says. What did he say? That was 6 and 46. What did he say? Here's the classic, John 14 and 15.
The book of John, chapter 14 and verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
That's plain. So who are the people in Matthew 7 and 21? They know the name of the Lord, but they're not doing nothing he said. They're not keeping no commandments, right? That's what it means. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. The will of the Father is what? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments through your faith, right? You got brothers, they may know the name of the Lord, but they don't know about Passover. I'm not keeping the Passover this year. I want to do Easter, right? I heard Easter in Acts 12:4. I want to do that, right? Celebrating Christmas with the kids, smoking blunts, lukewarm, right? And they may be out in camp. Like a brother say, you might have an Edomite bow down to you, or you might have kissed your feet. That might have been the only camp you've been to, right? And after that, you just went back in the world. And you got Christians too, right? Jesus, God. You think just because they say Jesus and God, they're going to make it? You know how many pastors, but God, in the blood of Jesus, and they sweating. Are they going? No, they're not going to make it, man. Because they got the pork dinners downstairs in the basement at 1 p.m., man. With the string beans and the deviled eggs. And the crabs. If it's fancy. If it's like 4th of July or like Columbus Day, then they'll bring the crabs.
And bacon grease for flavor.
Yeah, and bacon grease. Bacon inside the greens. Christmas tree downstairs. Madness, man. Balloons, right? So these are the people that's not going to make it.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 2 and verse 11. For there is no respect of persons with Yahweh. Right? So the Lord don't care if 1,000 people know your name or 2 people know your name. You're not going to get that respect. Right? The Lord is going to judge you. That's what you've done. And the charity you shown, the sins you committed. Right? If you've written in the book of life from the foundation, he's going to judge you on all that. Verse 12. For as many have sinned without law shall also perish without law. And as many have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. For not the hearers of the law are just before Yahweh, but the doers of the law shall be justified. Right? So if you keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, you're showing that you love Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? You can be justified through your faith by your works. Right? Because your faith without works is dead. It's just that simple. Right? If you know you're supposed to wear fringes and you're not wearing fringes, you're being a degenerate, like the brother was saying. If you know that you're supposed to keep the Sabbath day, but you want to go out and commit folly with Billy and Tony, right? You're a degenerate, like the brother was saying. It's just that simple. Keep the law, you may find eternal life, right? If the Lord, let me get this. It's the Spirit, because we was talking about this in the car. Romans 4:7, saying, blessed are they whose iniquities are forgiven and whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man in whom the Lord will not impute sin. Right? So if you that blessed man who the Lord blocks away your sins, makes your garment as white as snow, right? You're gonna get that kingdom. You're gonna get the kingdom that everybody is desiring. But if you're not forgiving your brother, you holding on to sins or secret faults, you're not gonna get the kingdom. Right? You're gonna try to walk to this beautiful wedding with a dirty garment, right? And the Lord gonna cast you into utter darkness.
That's right. Just look up what everyone that said to me, Lord, Lord. This Hosea chapter 8:1. Right? Hosea 8:1. Let me read 1 and 2. Set the trumpet to thy mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant and trespassed against my law. Here go the point. Israel shall cry unto me, my God, we know thee. That's what Israel going to do. My God, we know you. I know you, Lord. I know you, Jesus. Lord, Lord, save me. The Most High said what Israel going to do, man. God, we know you. Aren't we the children of the covenant? I'm from the tribe of Judah, Lord. I seen the 12 tribes chart, right? I pointed out Reuben. Am I going to be delivered? No, brother, you eating pork, man. So what if you saw the 12 tribes chart? The Lord said Israel going to cry out, my God, we know thee. Right? But the Lord don't know you. We're going to read about that in the book of Matthew. You got people like that. You got people that they think they know you, but you don't know them. Right? You got brothers that believe that a woman is in love with them, but she don't even know you, brother. Yeah, we in love. We talking. Brother, you never brother, she don't know your name. You know? Yeah, brother, I think she kind of feeling me, man. I kind of walked past and I think she looked at me. No, brother, she wasn't looking at you, brother. Right? So you could think you know somebody and deceive yourself, but that don't mean they know you, man.
Right.
There are a lot of people thinking they know the Lord, man.
And that go on a lot in this truth. Yeah, I know that brother, man.
Right.
I met that brother a couple times. That don't mean you good with me.
Remember the brother said, I knew somebody in Alabama. The brother in Philly, he said, I know the elder, man. Yeah. The elder in Alabama.
Right, talking about Zabak, man. Zabak was in Vegas. He wasn't in no Alabama.
Right.
So you gotta be careful of those people, man. Those people who try to blend in because they say they know somebody, man. No, I don't know you, brother. Just because somebody cool with you don't mean I know you. Right. This Amos chapter 4 and verse 11. Right. It says, I have overthrown some of you as God has overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And ye were as firebrand plucked out of the burning. Yet had you not returned unto me, saith the Lord. So the Lord may have jacked you up. He may have brought you down real low. You still ain't turned back to him. You still want to be, I don't know, whatever sins is killing our people to this day.
Right.
Or you got a pork demon on you. You can't stop eating pork. Right? Verse 12. Therefore thus will I do unto thee, O Israel. And because I will do this unto thee, prepare to meet thy God, O Israel. Right, so the Lord about to come to you face to face, man. Right? We reading about that in Matthew 7. The Lord about to come to you face to face. It's either well done, faithful servant, or depart from me, thou worker of iniquity who practice lawlessness. Which one you trying to hit? Well done, faithful servant. Right? So do what it pleases the Lord. Love the Lord by keeping the commandments.
That's right. That's right. So we can go on in Matthew 7:22. So many people going to say, Lord, Lord, man. They're going to be calling the name of the Most High in Jacob's trouble, right? Lord, deliver me, right? Lord, save me, right? And you still holding on to that grudge, and you forgot about it. You're not going to be delivered, brother. You still got hatred in your heart, man, right? You done knew about this knowledge, but you sat on your talent. You sat on all of that knowledge. The Lord won't cut you down. There are so many ways the Lord is warning you, man, right? About not only just keeping the commandments, there's more things, right, than just the laws and the Torah. Like you got to go out and do the work too. That's written. You can't sit on your talent, right? You can't lose your oil. There are many things, man, you know?
Matthew chapter 7:22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works.
Yeah, you got people in Christianity, wonderful works like what? They may do a food drive, and they think they're going to make it.
Right.
I did a food drive, right? You got 1,000 canned beans for the homeless. Does that mean they're going to make it? Look at that, it's canned beans with pork in it, man. You done wasted your time, right? You got people, you got these pastors, they'll perform these false miracles on the people. They'll pay the guy $35, right, to pretend to come in with a wheelchair down the ramp. Like this in the back. Hey, come up here. He got his finger up. He rolling himself down. You know what I'm saying? He crying while he rolling down. And the pastor, do you want to walk? He crying, and his auntie up there, yeah, I want to walk. And then he put a little oil on his head, then he tap him. Then he get up and start walking, man. And he start running. He start running around. He feminine. Might start switching. So then everybody in that congregation think the pastor gonna make it, man.
Right.
These are some of the wonderful works, man. Right? Even brothers in the so-called truth, man. Right? You got go ahead, brother.
I'm saying the brothers from last, not the brother, but the Edomite from last week, those handing out coffee.
Yeah, the Edomite handing out coffees, man. Talking about we're racist, right? So these are some of the wonderful works. Your false charity. You got women that show up 2 hours early in the Christian church for women Bible study, and they think that's a good work. I showed up 2 hours early to sweep the church, right, and clean the windows off. I know God is good, right? Guess what? They're gonna be destroyed, man, right? Because they dealing with the pastor. So you got all these people that say, Lord, Lord, brothers in the truth, man. You done decorated everything for the feast of dedication for another brother's wife to come over. That's wicked, man. Right? You had a point, brother? Hold on, we're gonna hold the precepts. Right? Let's
So like you saying, that's brothers in the truth too.
yeah, that's brothers in the truth too. That's brothers in the truth too, who I lost my train of thought. So lucky. Who claim they have wonderful works. Right? Like the brother always say, you may have an Edomite bow down to you one time at the camp. Now you think you made it. Right? I know the chariot for me, man. Right? Esau bowed down to me one time. It's over, man. And then you stop doing the work, man. You put on your lock screen and your home screen. You post it all over the internet, and then you go back in the world, man. You can't do that, man. You have to do the will of the Father unto the end.
Verse 23. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
See that the Lord, who does the Lord know though? Let's go to Romans 8:28. There are people the Lord knows through foreknowledge, and there are people the Lord don't know. Right? Let's go to Romans 8:28.
Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh, to them who are the called according to his purpose.
Right?
Come. For whom he did foreknow.
For whom he did foreknow, meaning he knew he knew these spirits in the spirit world before they were put on the earth. He predestinated these spirits to enter into everlasting life. These are the people who the Lord knows. Right? Everybody else, he don't know you. Right? So who Slaki says, I'll read on. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Those are the people the Lord knows, the elect. And the elect are going to do the will of the Most High. Everybody else, he don't know you, man. right? Whether you 15 feet tall or 5 feet tall, man, right? The Lord knows the elect, and he doesn't know anybody else. It is what it is, man. Like I said, you can deceive yourself. Like you got brothers, brothers, like I said, they think that woman loved them, right? She gonna text me back. You don't have her number yet, brother, right? She's in love with me, right? She doesn't know you, man, right? You can deceive yourself, man. I bought flowers, I did this, I did all these wonderful works. I invited her out to eat. She's gonna marry me, right? But she's not, brother. And that day, you're gonna get rejected, man. You bought that outfit. These are your wonderful works. You bought them shoes, got your haircut, all that just to get rejected in that day. Because she's already arranged to another man. Her father already arranged her to another man for marriage.
That's that J. Cole song. He said he fell in love through photographs.
That's
man.
right. That's right.
Don't even know her name. Right.
Right.
That's how it goes, man.
That's right.
Matthew 7 and verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock.
Right. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 3 and 10. So if you do these sayings that the Most High has given you, right? If you do these sayings, you're a wise man that built your house upon a rock. Brothers know who that rock is? Yahweh, right? Psalms 118:22, Isaiah 8:13, right? Matthew 21:41 or down, right? But we kind of going for sake of time. 1 Corinthians,
1 Corinthians 3 and verse 9. For we are laborers together with Yahweh. Ye are God's husbandry. Ye are God's building, according to the grace of Yahweh, which is given unto me. As a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon.
So the men of the Lord are likened unto wise master builders or architects, man. They know how to teach the brother, break the precepts down, and build him upon this foundation, right? They know what doctrine the brother need. Does he need the milk? Does this brother need this meat? Does he has to be taught this way? So this is how an architect thinks, man. They lay the foundation, they level things out, they make sure that things are able to withstand the wind, right? You got certain buildings that they build in California strictly with a foundation to withstand earthquakes, man. Right? Buildings that get so high and tall, they got to count the cost and put certain metals in there so it's not swaying in the wind. They actually think about these things, man. It costs money. They got to do mathematics, formulas. The building don't just pop up, man. It's not able to just stand the damn hurricane for no reason. You have men that actually sit there and think we have to use this material at 400 feet tall because if we lay the foundation here with this support beam, it can't be too close to this one because it'll be uneven. Brothers like that in this truth, man. You got to go through the curses, then we got to teach the milk, then we got to do this so we can build this man up. You got to be a wise master builder.
For other foundations can no man lay, then that is laid, which is Yahweh Shah.
Right. You can't lay nothing else but the foundation of Yahweh Shah. The rock is important because that's your foundation. That's where you're rooted and settled and grounded on.
Now, if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is.
See that? So that fire going to try you, man. Right? Now you could be on this, let's say you're wood, hay, and stubble, right? Let's say I'm teaching this brother right here, Micah, and I build upon him the foundation, but he turns out to be wood, hay, and stubble. What's going to happen when he go through affliction? He's going to burn up, and he's not going to remain. Let's say I'm teaching this brother, and he becomes gold, and he go through that fire. What's going to happen to him? He's going to become strong. It's going to remove those undesirable traits. So we have to take heed that every brother that comes to this truth, not every brother's a precious stone. Certain brothers, they fall out. Certain brothers are wood. Certain brothers are hay. Certain brothers are stubble. Certain brothers are gold and silver, right? And the day is going to declare it, right? Like if I build a building, I'm only going to know if that building is sure once a windstorm comes, right? Once a damn hurricane comes, if that building lasts, cool, I did a good job. I won't know if that building is perfected till it's been tested, right? So everything got to go through the tests, right? They test metals, they test cars, they test everything, man. You see them cars with the damn dummies in it and they crap. They got to test them things, man. You can't just put that car on the open road. The accident and the damage is going to declare if that car is fit to be on the road or not. You got a king.
It's the song.
Well, I told him we was going to hold precepts just for. We can bring your precept out too, King, just for sake of time. Go ahead. You got it first.
It's the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 9. If she be a wall, we will build upon her a palace of silver.
Right. So if our people are used as a wall, we're going to build them up as a palace of silver. A home makeover. Y'all see the TV shows while you were out. They had America's $1 Million Makeover, but they got a rugged house, and then they turn it to like a damn mansion, man. You seen Pimp My Ride, even though that wasn't real, right? They got the little bucket, then they got a submarine. I mean, what's that? Aquarium in the trunk. You know, an Xbox on the dashboard.
Ironing board.
Yeah, ironing board, and there's a toaster.
I thought
Right.
you like to do clothes.
But that's what we do to our people in the truth, man. We turn them spiritually. We turn them from a wall to a what, King?
Palace of silver.
To a palace of silver, man. Right, go on.
And if she be a door, we will enclose her with the borders of cedar.
Right, you walk down the street, just see one door, right? You go there next week, it's an entire mansion, man. That's our brother. You call yourself an African American. Next week, you are a whole Israelite from the tribe of Judah. You got a king.
This precept was referring to how they say that they know the Lord.
Come.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, and verse 23.
Bring it out.
It says, "Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have sat at naught at my counsel and would not of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when you're coming."
Come.
Yeah. That was regarding when you say the people say they know the Lord.
Come. That's a good precept, man. And they gonna be calling upon the Lord, and the Lord gonna be laughing at them, man, and mocking them. That's a real good precept, right? So we got to be wise master builders in this truth, man, and make sure we teaching our people the sound and correct doctrine. You don't build every building the same way, but every building does have a foundation.
Matthew 7 and verse 25. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And
Go ahead, Slug.
And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand.
So what does the rain and the floods and the wind represent? Affliction, trials. It could be demons, stress, right? Evil spirits that'll try to beat upon the house. You're the house, right? Your house is his body. Let's go to Job chapter 4 real quick to show that. All right, let's go to Job chapter 4. Right? Your family coming against you. Your job coming against you. They're going to beat upon your house. Job chapter 4 and 19.
Shalom. Job chapter 4 and verse 19. How much less of them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the moth.
See that? So man dwells in houses of clay, meaning your body, because we're formed out of the clay. Right? Tell you that in Job 33 and 6. We're formed out of the dust of the ground. So man is that house of clay. So when the Lord is saying, when that rain and that wind and them storms come against you, if you're not built upon a rock, you're going to fall, man. Right? You got brothers into other religions, they're not built upon this truth. What do they do when affliction and persecution come? End up beating somebody up, going to jail, stabbing somebody, fold, right? You fold under pressure, crying, you get depressed, right? You popping pills, you don't know how to deal with rent and bills and financial stress and your family coming against you. Why? Because you're not built upon that rock. And you fall, man. A lot of people commit suicide. They burn, they hang themselves. They check into a psychiatric ward. They popping pills, right? They get drunk to satisfy the flesh because they can't deal with the rain and the wind. A lot of people get drunk and get high because they can't deal with they don't know how to properly deal with the affliction and the rainstorm and the windstorm. And it all starts with building yourself upon a rock. If I'm catching hell and I'm built upon a rock, what I'm going to do? I'm going to pray. I'm going to fast, man. I'm gonna apply the scriptures. I'm gonna apply the instruction that the Most High gave me. So I'm able to withstand the wind, the storm, and the rains. So men have their thing that they go through, and sisters have their thing they go through too. The wind, rain, and the storms, man. Right?
It's the book of Tobit, chapter 3 and verse 10. When she had heard these things, she was very sorrowful, so that she thought to have strangled herself.
See that? So Sarah wanted to strangle herself. You see that? Is more than that?
Yeah. And she said, I am the only daughter of my father, and if I do this, it shall be a reproach unto me, and I shall bring his old age with sorrow unto the grave. Then she prayed toward the window and said, Blessed art thou, O Lord my God, and thine holy and glorious name is blessed and honorable forever. Let all thy works praise thee forever.
See that? So she was catching hell and she prayed, man. And the Lord heard her, man, and gave her a righteous husband. So sisters be going through it too. Rather, they can't bear children, right? What else sisters be dealing with?
Order.
You said what?
Maybe be dealing with order.
You're dealing with order, finding your role in this truth, how to be submissive as a wife. You understand, just learning, how to be like your foremothers, Sarah, Rachel, Rebecca, dealing with worldly family members too. You understand, different demons, your thoughts, right? So you got to learn how to be able to build upon a rock too. And your rock is your husband too, man. As a wife and as a woman, your rock is your husband, man. Right? Sade got the song, she got the lover's rock, man. Right? You know what that song is about, man. Right? So your rock as a woman is your husband. All right? And your husband, he's built upon Yahweh Shah. Right? So if you're a wife and you're not built upon your husband's foundation, then you're gonna fall.
This is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the tribe of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Right? So you got to constantly endure when these things come upon you. Right? Make sure your foundation is always on that rock. Right? Don't try to get fancy and make it out of the concrete that you saw some African make it out of, because it's not going to withstand. Right? Don't go into Christianity thinking that's going to stand. Stay in this truth and constantly endure. And be happy when you're brought to a lower state. Right? Because 9 times out of 10, that's the Lord chastising you to get you right. Right? Giving you a spank on the leg, on the side. Right? When we was younger, we got that spanking on the side. We knew we acted up and we got right. Right? You got a phone call home. Right? That's what the Lord is. That's what the Lord is doing. He got the angels reporting that you was acting up in school. Right? Now you're getting chastised. Right? So be cheerful when you get brought to that lower state. Right? And when you get brought to that lower state, examine yourself. Right? You should be examining yourself daily, but examine yourself even more. Right? When you get brought to that lower state.
This is a precept. This is Hebrews 5 and 8. Right? Hebrews chapter 5 and 8. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered. Right? You see that? So, hey, this is how you learn obedience. By suffering, man. There's no other way, man. You can't learn obedience in Funland. Right? Funland, you're just jumping in the jungle gym. Do kids learn discipline in the moon bounce? They in there jumping around and waving, they doing the worm. They're not getting no instruction in there, man. They fighting, they throwing each other around. What about that thing where all of the balls be at? Right? The thing in the damn
the ball pin.
Yeah, the ball pin, man. They diving. Are they learning instruction and discipline in the ball pin? Where they learning discipline at, man? At home. Right? Where they should be with their father's house. Suffering, getting that beat, looking at them welts on their leg, like, damn, let me not do that no more. Right? You get hit with that metal part of the belt by accident. Right? Right? You're like, dang, man, that one kind of hurt, man. You get slapped in your mouth. That's how you learn obedience, through suffering. Taking away kids get their game system taken away. They can't go see their friends. They can't go out. That's how they learn obedience, through suffering, huh? Sitting there, what do I do? I don't have my phone. I don't have my game system. They're catching hell, man. Right. They're sitting there trying to looking at the ceiling. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what to do. You take away these damn toys, they going through it, man. Right? So we go through it too, man. The Lord take away, he may take away your money, right? Take away your women, right? All types of stuff. That's how man should learn obedience, man. Right? So that wind and that rain and that storm is to teach you as a house obedience, man. Right? And every storm, they got different category hurricanes. Right? Category 1 all the way through 5, man. They got tropical storms. Right? So you got certain brothers, they deal with the tropical storm. Brothers, they deal with category 5s every day, man. And it's to make their house stronger.
Matthew chapter 7 and verse 28. And it came to pass when Yahushua had ended these sayings that the people were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes.
That's right. That's right. So he taught with authority, man, meaning with power, right? Authority as in he's the author, right? If I write a book and I'm teaching, I know what I'm talking about. I wrote the book, man, right? So the scribes, they taught really feminine. I think it means this, right? The Lord didn't say, I think it means this, man. He said, verily, verily, I say unto thee, man. Right? I mean, I'm not lying. Look, this, my word is bond, man. This is true. That's what the Lord is saying, man. And with that, we're going to close up, giving our honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We're going to take a quick intermission. Kwam Yasha. Khan, Shalom.
Quick question. I was meditating